So now I'm going to talk about something that's really important in understanding the blues, because especially in jazz there is a couple extra chords that we use for our blues form. It's still a 12-bar blues, and it's still based around those three chords, the G7, the C7, and the D7. But in this case we have what's called the turnaround, which gets us back to the top of the form, and we add a couple extra chords in between. This makes things more interesting, but what you'll notice is that those intervals that we talked about, the forbidden interval, those tritones, they repeat themselves and they move chromatically. So the first one here, I'm going to use this shape for G7, which is the diminished triad, B diminished, and then I'm going to move down here the interval, but I'm going to add the D on top, which is going to be the 9. So I'm going to have G7, then I'm going to have C9, back to G7. So that's the same as we had for the 3-chord blues. Now we're going to go back for that second C7. Instead of staying on the C7, I'm going to lower the top note down to D flat, which is really called a C sharp diminished 7 chord. And if you notice, it's the same shape as the one for the G7. It just goes up a half step. So there's your chromatic movement right there. So you've got G7, you've got C9, and then back to G7, and again G7. Now we go C9, and we lower that top note. There's our C sharp diminished 7 as it shows on the page, and then G7. Now we're going to take this shape here, we're just going to slide it up to the 6th fret, and this is actually going to be E7 flat 9. I don't have a root in there, but if I put the E string in, you can hear that's an E7 flat 9. Now, one thing I want to talk about before I go on with the next chords is that in some cases you can use all dominant 7 chords for the blues, and you may hear people play all dominant 7s. But to get more into what the jazz thing is all about, because it's based on what we call the diatonic harmonies, which would have minor 7s and major 7s as well. For the next chord coming up, I've chosen to use a minor 7 chord as opposed to a dominant 7. So when we get to that E7 flat 9, I could just take that shape and move it down a half step, and this would be A7. And you may hear blues players or jazz players use that chord, but I'm going to, instead of playing this triad here, which is a diminished, I'm going to make it a major triad. It's going to be C major, which will essentially be A minor 7. So I went from G7 to E7 flat 9, and now I'm going to A minor 7, just playing the C triad, but there it is with the root noted. And then the next chord, of course, is going to be a dominant 7 chord. It's the same shape again as we had for all of our G7s and our E7 flat 9. This diminished shape here on the 4th fret is going to be called D7 flat 9. And if you notice, it's a half step above the G7. So that's what we call the turnaround. And what happens is the first time it happens, we have everything being in whole bars. So I'm going from C9 to C sharp diminished 7, now to G7, it's a whole bar, then a whole bar of E7 flat 9, then a whole bar of A minor 7, a whole bar of D7 flat 9, and then I've got what we call the turnaround, which would be in half bars. 2 beats of G7, 2 beats of E7 flat 9, 2 beats of A minor 7, and then 2 beats of D7 flat 9. And what this is doing, this is introducing what's called the 2-5-1, which is a really important part of jazz music, because that's a chord progression where we use the 2 chord of a key, the 5 chord of a key, and the 1 chord. In this case, though, the 2-5-1 isn't traditional in the sense that it doesn't resolve onto a major 7, it resolves back to our G7.